Hi everyone on Zoom. So I came with a couple of stories I wanted to share. One is, we have a member in Australia, a long-time member, who's a bodhisattva teacher in our school. His name is De Heng, because he was a Hengja years and years ago. Thank you. And his name is also Peter Hart. And he and I Zoom about once a week, usually, and talk and look at Kangans together. And he shared a story with me that happened just the other week. He lives in Brisbane. He started a Zen Center in Brisbane, Australia. And the city needed everyone to move their cars off the street one evening. And so he was outside moving his car, and this young man came walking along the sidewalk and stopped and said to De Heng, "I'm really depressed." And De Heng responded, he didn't just, "Oh, I'm busy, I can't." He said, "Oh." And they sat down on the curb, and he said, "What are you depressed about?" And this young man said, "I don't know." And De Heng said, "Well, my experience is that often that happens when I'm holding something." "What do you hold? Are you holding anything?" "I don't know." And what appeared for De Heng was, sometimes we're really attached to our name. "What's your name?" "Ross." Well, let's say now your name isn't Ross. And this young man, he went, "I feel so light now." Somehow a little easy, yeah? And yet, who knows what then went on. But they went about their business, and De Heng moved his car off the street, and Ross went on his way, or non-Ross went on his way. And I just love that story. This young man just was willing to open himself to a stranger, And two, De Heng was available. He made himself available, and he used what he had already practiced and digested to just meet this guy where he was and just try. They just tried together. It's quite beautiful. And maybe Ross, at the end of the block, maybe that depression reappeared, I don't know. But a seed, he had an experience of letting go. He had an experience of this seed of having held something and that's huge for us human beings, yeah? And so then the other story is a traditional one that many of you may have heard, but two monks walking along, traveling together, and they come to a river, the ford of the river, and it's not really easily crossable. There's been a lot of water upstream, and so you're not going to get across dry. And there's a woman on one side of the river who wants to cross, but she's feeling unable to cross. And this becomes clear between her and one of the monks. The monk picks her up, carries her across, sets her down, and the two monks keep walking. Well, monk two, the one who didn't carry her, as they're walking, he's becoming more and more agitated inside, and eventually He's showing the signs of agitation, and finally he can't stand it anymore. And he says, Sunim, you touched a woman. You broke our monastic precepts. How could you do that? And the monk who carried the woman said, I set the woman down back at the river. You're still carrying her. It's like, how beautiful is that? You know, simple, clear, this steep path that Mark talked about, you know, it's actually just going from this. Everybody do this. Really hard. Really hard. Keep doing it. Harder. Hard. Even harder. I'm shaking. Okay, let go. Yeah? I actually learned this when I was a kid. Around the pool one summer, kids were showing stuff and everybody did that really hard. And after a while, we couldn't unlock our fist easily. You know, it was this, the muscles had become habituated. And I can't let go, you know, but we can. I don't know about you, but I suspect all of us carry a lot of baggage. We've been known to carry a lot of baggage in our lives. Yeah. There's a commercial that I've seen on my computer of student debt. I don't know if anyone's seen it. And people are carrying these enormous backpacks of student debt, and they're trying to buy a house or they're trying to get married, and they're burdened with this student debt. And then, of course, there's some organization that will help you with that, and the debt falls away. But Zen practice is simply seeing, trying to see, really paying attention to how mind functions. Just with that curiosity and inquiry that Mark talked about, whether it's joyful or not, you know, it's not always. You know, I'm up the hill at Kilche, and my experience of sitting long periods is that it's often not joyful. It's like, oh, shit, you know, not this again. Oh, I did do that, you know. And the beauty is that we get to see that until we're just, one, sick of it, just sick of it, of seeing it and carrying it. And two, we get to find this compassionate self that's in all of us that can be compassionate toward even ourselves. You know, and that allows this to just be as it is. Let our lives be what they've been, and allow this opening to appear for what comes next, for what's right now as it unfolds. I've been chatting away. Are there any questions? Yeah.
You've answered just about all of them.
I didn't hear you.
I said, I think you've answered just about all of them.
Okay.
Hi, I have a question. So here at the PZC, we don't have a lot of female teachers currently. And whenever I hear from a male teacher, oh, you should save all beings, you should have right direction, it kind of falls a little bit flat, because as a woman, I feel like women are told this all the time. Like, oh, you just have to do things for other people, don't do things for yourself. So I am wondering, is that my baggage, or what? And also, like, what is your experience? I know that we do have a lot of female teachers in this school. What has been your experience as a female practitioner?
Thank you. First, just to let you know, this end of Kilche is all women teachers. So most of the Sunday Q&As will be women for the next 6 weeks or so. So it'll be chock. And yeah, this sort of harkens back. Deheng, I didn't share my whole conversation with Deheng about this guy's name and holding his name. And I said to Deheng, women we've been changing our names, taking on our husband's name for centuries. There's something interesting here. So there's something about how women have been trained and maybe are just, raising babies, having babies, raising them, giving the number one focus to others, that maybe is already quite inside. I don't know. But that said, I encourage you to let go of making man and woman, because that right there is something that we can get lost in and hold on to. But notice these things, because they're there. They're observable, and we can all learn from each other. I think I came to an end with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for your question. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
I was looking at the human root outside the door in the entrance. It's interesting because I had been thinking about precisely that big question. I've been kind of obsessed with it for about the last month. But one line in that I felt like needed attention for me. I didn't quite, I don't like using the word understand because I'm not sure I'm supposed to understand it, but it was the line, the cloud does not originally exist. And that was very bewildering for me, and has been.
Yeah, thank you. What about you? Did you originally exist?
No.
Well, then you just answered your own question.
How do I establish a relationship with something pure and clear if all I am is a collection of thoughts and beliefs?
That's a great question. So what are you doing just now?
In practice?
Even more specific, what are you doing?
At this moment?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to observe all of my anxiety, kind of like almost in third person. I don't particularly like public speaking.
But you are. You're standing there speaking into a microphone, even with along with your anxiety and your question. One pure and clear thing already appeared. And then you're going to walk back to your place, each footstep. How is it just now? Just now, just now.
And that's what's real?
In this practice, we get to find out for ourselves through our direct experience. I can't tell you what's real, but we can together look at how to pay attention and bring inquiry and find out for ourselves.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I actually do have a question. Excuse my foot fell asleep. I find myself to be a pretty ambitious person, and henceforth why I started practicing Zen, to slow myself down and ground myself at equilibrium. Sometimes I feel I am in complete bliss, pure equilibrium, but then I fall out into what I could describe as a karmic circle. But I pull myself out. I keep shattering this veil, but sometimes I find myself in the same circle, wiser, able to make a different decision. Am I putting myself back in this loop through thoughts? Or am I able to break out of this loop I've put myself into?
There are a lot of eyes in there.
There is. I think the eyes come from, I have a tendency to put affirmations as my first priority in the morning, and I use the I am to support those affirmations, but sometimes maybe I am is too powerful and I'm fueling an ego rather than.
So what is this I?
It doesn't exist.
Well, that's an idea.
Thank you.
I encourage you to look into that. Yeah. Thank you for your question. Esther, can always rely on you for questions.
Hello, thank you for being here. It's great to finally meet you in person. And thank you, Mark. You have basically been describing today my daily life. Having these kleshas that you described and trying to get out of being with that discomfort, because I don't know if it happens to everybody, but when we are, at least for me, when I'm in a situation that I feel as a negative, I just want to get out of that. For yesterday, I was thinking that I was in a funk the whole day. And I was trying to just think about what were the reasons why I was in that situation. And all of them were in my mind, clearly.
All of them what?
In my mind. There were thoughts in my mind. I think that I'm a perfectionist, and I see now that it is a form of pride. So my question is, because I don't want to be in that situation, because I create suffering for myself and suffering for others, how do I get out of that situation as fast as possible? Or should I even aspire to get out of that? Because like I found this morning when I woke up, I told my husband, I'm out of the funk, finally. So it's what you were describing of holding onto something and then finally let go. But I feel that I would like to control that instead of just waiting for it to pass.
Yeah,
So-
good luck with that.
So that's my question.
Yeah. How is it just now? So rather than trying to push it away, I don't like this, or hold on to it, I really like this. Just how is it? What's going on? And we don't have to get lost in it, that's not necessary, but it is necessary to experience our life as it is. And that bare attention right there is like that. Just, oh, how is, and it's not always, oh, how is this? It's sometimes, oh.
Yes.
Sometimes it's heavy, sometimes it's light, sometimes it's joyful, sometimes it's just horrible. How is it? And as we do that, we get to experience what it is to be a human being, what we all of we human beings experience. And by not pushing it away and not grabbing on, but really being here for whatever's appearing, there's a chance of it getting digested. And then that actually allows some availability, like what I talked about with Dae Heng and his meeting with Ross, that he, from his own experience, knew about what it is to hold and what that can feel like, and was able to be available. So digest those. Oh yeah, here's that funk. Been here. Hello, old friend. And let it be, and keep. How is this? And that attention, actually, not necessarily fast, not necessarily slow. I know you asked for a speedy thing, but too bad. Just the pure attention helps to sort of dissolve whatever's appearing by natural process, in its own time, not in some time that I try to make, but by natural process. That's a phrase that Zen Master Seung San used a lot, which I really love. It's just, we make karma, all kinds of karma. We make good karma, we make bad karma, we make clear karma. And karma, as we know, we can't just make it disappear. Cause and effect are clear. And so sometimes stuff appears. I know for me, for my life, there's so much. I've lived 70 odd years, and I've done a lot of stuff that I'm not happy about, and mistakes and hurtful things and unskillful things, and I can sit here and worry them, chew on them like a dog with a bone, and it's like carrying that baggage, But this moment is fresh, is this moment, and how is it? What's right now?
Mm-hmm.
Question and answer. You woke up this morning. The funk has dissolved. How is it? Bring that. When you get up in the morning, how is it to put your feet down on the floor? Mm. When you go to bed at night, how is it to swing them up and put them under the covers? How is it? Bring your attention moment to moment to moment.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. And that digesting will help you to be available for people feeling the same thing. Hi.
Hi, happy Sunday. Thank you both for coming. Quick question. This was great, and it reminded me a lot of, the saying that, hanging on to anger is like holding onto a hot coal. The only person that gets burned is the one hanging on to it. And I loved everyone's questions, and my thought is attachment just a construct of consciousness? Can we be truly in the moment without having attachment?
I'm not letting it go. I'm not. I want this phone. I need this phone. I'm going to paste it to my body. What's your name?
Dana.
Dan?
Dana. Or Dan.
Dana.
Either one.
Hi. What's your experience of attachment?
My experience is that it's all from within the mind, and some attachment can be very extremely temporary or instant, but once that attachment is gone, there's always another attachment, even trying to be within the moment. You're attached to maybe that moment. You're maybe attached to that breath. So that's why I'm always wondering, is it just truly part of just consciousness? That there has to be some sort of form of attachment to be truly present, be in the moment.
Oh. That's interesting. We get these human bodies and human minds. We come into this world and that all develops. Do you have children?
Yes.
So you've seen that development for yourself. And there's even a psychological thing about attachment. Attachment, what?
Fear. Well, attachment to yours.
But there's a syndrome. There's a, the children who were raised in orphanages who didn't get held and loved. And
Well, there's different types of disorganized.
disorder, attachment disorder.
Disorganized.
Okay.
Yeah.
The psychologists up front here. And so, in terms of being a human being, attachment is part and parcel, yeah? And then if you Your children have gotten older?
They range from 26 to 10.
So they detach,
Yeah.
sometimes painfully for parents, and for them. But there's something that needs to happen as a human being of experiencing what it is to care that much and believe that we are that somehow our self-identity depends on that attachment. And then finding out for ourselves that we can let go. And then what? What's your name with the Wheaton? Adam. He brought up the human root, and the cloud originally does not exist. That's as human beings, we get to experience, I like to talk about the 5 remembrances. Old age, sickness, death, everything we care about is going to change and disappear. Impermanence and karma, our actions and their consequences. And but I encourage you to, we can understand a lot, but if our understanding is not rooted in our experience, then it's kind of doesn't go quite far enough. It's a bit superficial. It's not digested in our experience. So that's a wonderful question, and I encourage you also to find out from looking into it, into your attachments and your experience of attachment and the letting go and the reappearing, and let the insight that appears from that examination inform your life. There's sort of a difference between insight and understanding, the way we talk about it. That's what I encourage you to do.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have time for one more question.
So, recently I was terminated from my nannying job.
You were what?
Terminated from my nannying job pretty much immediately. And it was kind of a day and night thing. I had asked for a renegotiation because responsibilities changed. And they were just no. So I've been having a really difficult time not creating kind of a narrative for them and a narrative for myself and kind of just being okay, that's kind of what happened and let's keep it going. Yeah. But doing that's really hard. So I guess what kind of advice do you have?
Yeah. First, ow.
Yeah.
That's number one that you've experienced clearly is, this hurts. I had a friend who, his job was to go into hospitals and basically revamp, and he had to fire a lot of people. But he saw it as an opportunity to really get a sense of that person and help them find what's next for them. And, don't ignore the hurt. And And what do you want now? What's next?
I'm not sure.
Good. Good. Then that's true. You don't know. Keep that open mind and look around. What is there anything that calls you?
I am also a psychology major.
One more thing. The narrative business.
Mm-hmm.
If it's already done and you can't go back and ask them, well, what is your narrative? Then I encourage you to drop making the narrative. Drop giving giving to the situation. We have a tendency to go over the past again and again and again and try to make it better. We're trying to make it better, and it's the only thing we can't change what actually happened. We can observe and see, and we can let go of it, basically. And that will open up space. That, at least my experience has always been, when I let go of making all those narratives and holding on to something, then some space appears for, oh, now what? So maybe there's something next, and I don't know. You don't know. But keep that mind that doesn't know but is open.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I wish you well with the next step.
Thank you so much.
So, just Diego, one more thing. I'm just so appreciative of retreats, and I know a lot of you have done retreats. If you haven't, give it a whirl. It's just very helpful to spend a day or 2 days or however long not having to make extra activity, to just have a simple schedule that you do with other people. It's very helpful to do it with other people. And there's nothing you have to figure out. You just follow the form. Sit, chant, eat, work, just whatever is next on the schedule. And it's very freeing. Interestingly enough, even though it's rigorous and there's a schedule, it just allows you to just be present. So I encourage that, and thank you all already for your practice.
And thank you both for your wonderful talks today. Just a couple of announcements to go ahead and close this out. We have a number of retreats coming up. Actually, we have quite a full month of March. So the first is going to be on March 2nd and 3rd. This is going to be a 2-day Youngmun Jinjin led by Kwanhaeng Sanim Jito Pope Sanim. You are able to do 1 day or both days. I very strongly recommend, if your schedule allows, do both days. Really give yourself the opportunity to settle into a retreat and have that time where you kind of have no choice but to give up and really settle into it. If you choose to do both days, of course, we will provide accommodation for you here at the Zen Center overnight. But if you're not able to do 2 days, 1 day will work perfectly well as well. Following that, our very own Nancy is going to be leading a half keto, half sitting retreat. This is going to be Saturday, March 9th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And if you haven't done a keto before, keto is where we spend the morning doing chanting, creating a lot of very, very strong energy and direction. And Nancy's very good at leading it. Everyone has instruments, and it really creates something very special. And then going from that in the morning, really high energy, to sitting, really interesting. So please come and join us that Saturday for Nancy's half keto, half sitting. Last and not least, we are going to be having an online Christian Buddhist retreat. This is by Zen Master Tan Gong and Roshi Ellen Burks, and this will be the following Saturday, March 16th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. All of these are posted outside of the entryway if you forget these dates, and you can sign up online at providencezen.org. And of course, our winter Kyolche is continuing. And so if you have sat a retreat here with us before and have some experience with the forms, please consider going up to Kyolche. Spend a week up there to enjoy the beautiful Daimyo Zen Monastery, investigate your practice, and support everyone else's practice as well. Kyolches are really one of the big cornerstones of what we do here at Providence Zen Center, and we would very much invite all of you to encounter that at least once in your lives. So please, and if you've already encountered it, come back anyway, because it's good practice. Last and not least, practice is always free. Electricity and streaming is not, and so if you would like to help support us, there are a couple of things you can do. First, of course, we very gratefully accept donations. Donations make up about 30 to 40% of our operating income for the annual year. So this place only exists with your support. So if you value what we do here, the teachings that we pass on, and keeping this open and accessible for anyone who walks through these doors, please consider donating. If you are a member, thank you very, very much. Please consider donating as well. Since half of those dues go to the school, we do rely on you quite a bit. But we are not about the money here as well. We can also accept volunteers. We do multiple events throughout the year between retreats and rentals and just maintaining the place. So if you'd like to donate your time, your energy, and your ability, please consider becoming one of our volunteers. You can fill out a volunteer form near the entrance, and we'll be in touch and see what might work for you. We're very grateful for all of our volunteers. That's what's made pretty much all of this happen. We are a volunteer-based organization. So thank you all so much again. And if you could all please rise for the teacher.
My legs are asleep, so carry on.
Carry on. Do you need a supporting arm? Okay. I'll go grab them off top.
I'll meet you out there?
Okay. I'll find you.
Okay, great, thank you. And will there someone be in the shop today?
There should be.
Thank you. Thanks for joining the Providence Zen Center live stream. We're live most Sundays at 10:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to join our Zoom meeting, find the link on our website at providencezen.org. Or catch the live stream on YouTube and Facebook. Next week, we've got Zen Master Tan Gong, Jose Ramirez. He's a co-guiding teacher here at Providence Zen Center and the guiding teacher of the Delaware Valley Zen Center, which he helped found in 1999. He began studying Zen with Zen Master De Kwang at the Providence Zen Center in 1994, receiving inka in 2009 and Dharma transmission from Zen Master De Kwang on April 1st, 2023. Further out, we've got Rebecca Ott from Kansas, Diane Eagles from Cambridge Zen Center, and Zen Master Sung Hyung. Well, that's all for today. We'll be back again soon from all of us here at Providence Zen Center. Have a pleasant Sunday.